Hello and welcome to another Blender tutorial. My name is Emmanuel Okafor and this is brought to you by the Louis Arts. In this tutorial is going to be like a continuation of the first tutorial I did about the basic of creating spline IK. But in this tutorial we'll be creating an IK and a spline IK and we'll be trying to combine them in a single bone. So what we'll be mainly trying to do is to create a switch between the spline IK and the IK rig. So I'll be going in this tutorial basically like an advanced user, because if you want to get the basics of spline IK, check the other tutorial before this. So let's get started. So I've created a base mesh looking like a hand, and basically a hand. This is the top hand and the lower hand. So we'll be trying to rig it. So let's first create an IK. So you know easily how you create it. You create an extra bone that you control the chain and press Alt P. Make sure it's not parented to any of these bones. So when you do that, select the next bone to it and press Ctrl Shift C. Let me turn my screen cast display. Okay, Ctrl Shift C. This menu pops up, then you choose Invert Schematics, or you can press Shift I, then to active bone, then you go to the bone constraint and choose chain length up to, and if you put it 1, that's the only time Blender you want to control just this bone. But if you put if you put 1, you're telling Blender you're controlling just this bone, but if you put 2, you're telling Blender you're controlling the whole stuff. Okay, let me just throw in a little tip for you guys. Most of the times when you're rigging a character, you'll be in a situation whereby you have created the whole, let's say this is the bone to control the hand for rotating the basic hand, while this is to control the IK chain. We will come up with a situation whereby if you want, you have to make this bone. When you rotate this, you want this one to also rotate with it. So the easy way of doing it is select this and shift select this, press Ctrl Shift C and child off, and just set inverts. So with this you can control this bone and move the whole IK chain length without having any problem. So then after doing this, to avoid more trouble, select this bone and go into this bone panel and uncheck inherit rotation, and yeah, so this is your basic IK bone which you have created. So you can work with this. So for the main spice of this tutorial is creating the spline IK to also control this hand. So I'll save this now and let's continue with the spline IK. So let's create the spline IK. So if I will rush this now because I've done it before, but if you want to really get into the spline IK, check out my other tutorial. So we did add a basic of and change it to vector to busy to align. Select this cursor to selection to cursor, then align the rest of the bone, the basic of with the joints. I'll put one here and make sure it's aligned, and finally one here. Okay. Save this. Now select. First, let me hide the mesh so I will not have any distraction. Edit mode, the automatic, Control H. For if you don't know, Control H is to add a hook. So let's do that again. Control H, add hooks object. Do this for you. Control H, add hook. Control H, add hook. V, automatic. Okay, so now select this hook as the hook are now driving the vehicle. Okay, so now let's create the constraint. Select, go into the pose mode, select this bone and shift select, select the bezier curve and select this bone. Same way, Control Shift C and choose Spline IK, and voila, you have your magic. You look, nothing is happening. The reason is because this inverse schematic is affecting um, the spline IK. So turn this off, and the spline IK is now working. So you change the chain length. Let's do that again. Select the curve and let's try this. Okay, sorry. Select the child and press Ctrl Shift Spline IK, and so we have our spline IK working perfectly now. You can create cartoony stuff, and it also works like an IK but with more capabilities. Okay, so once the situation whereby we can return to our rest pose after messing up the rig. Make sure everything is looking good. Okay, so extrude a bone out of here and unparent it. Shift duplicate that bone and move it here. Make sure it's aligned. Yep. Okay. So I will duplicate this and put it here also. Make sure it's aligned. It's looking all good. So I will save. Make sure you save. So we have to parent these empties to the bone. Control P, bone. Right, Control P, bone. Do the same for this. Control P, bone. So we're done with that. So select the empties and move it to a layer that you will not be using. You can hide it and select the bezier curve. Make sure you don't move it to another layer. Let it remain in this layer but hide it. Let's remain in the layer with the bone. So with this you can grab the bone and play around with it. You can, so it's working, and you can now make it return its pose. To make it look perfect, change the bone from octahedral bone to B bone, and for more visual aid, change it to wire, and finally go to this bone icon and under deformation increase the segment. So make this 8. 18 is too much. 8. So just play around with it. It's not like specific number you have to do. Then for these bones, they are not meant to affect the mesh. They are just meant to drive bones. So you uncheck the deform, thereby telling Blender when you are painting the weights, this won't affect. So Now you have a very cartoony feel which you won't basically get to the IK. Um, okay, so now we have this, and if I go into select this, go into the movement and turn this off and turn this on, we also have our IK still working perfectly. Um, so I'm trying to parent this bone to this, so when I move this, I can rotate this also. And since the IK is going to need a vector pole to specify where the elbow will be, because if I raise it now I can't move this elbow, but if I do shift I to active and change it to one length, I can select this and move it. And so yeah, that's looking good. So we can now switch between everything. Okay, make sure you also turn off the vector pole. Okay, for the nitty gritty of this tutorial, switching between IK and inverse kinematics, that's the main stuff we are going for in this tutorial, and let's get into it. So let's unhide our cylinder and paint the weight. So select it and press automatic weight, as you know, and I think I want to use the IK for this because this looks better. I think the weights look good. I think there's some problems, but since we're not looking into creating a real character, I won't worry about that for now. So let's just save it and go into the real stuff. So what we're using to switch between the spline IK and the inverse schematics, we'll be using drivers. And let me take a break. When I come back, we'll look into that. So welcome back, and you have seen I've added some bone shape to make it easier to um, view my scene, but it's just still the same rate. Okay, so creating a switch. So select this bone and go into the constraint mode. So you see you have your IK and your spline IK, and you should know when this IK constraint is on, make sure the vector pole constraint is on, and when the spline IK is on, make sure the two are off. So we want to have a switch whereby if we on the IK, the vector pole and IK turns on, and if we off it, the spline IK turns on. And so the switch we'll be going for is a shelf switch, like it will be present in the shelf with the properties. So we want to create a property for the armature. So let's go and do that. So to create a property, select the bone you want to place it. You want to map the property to, and the bone we'll be using is this. Uh, so in case you don't want to rotate or scale your bone, just turn this off and everything disappears. So that's a little tip if you don't know. Um, so let's first do the IK and the vector pole. So to create a custom property, as you see, go down to this menu, custom properties. So add. So it appears here immediately. So if you go to edit, so you want to turn this to IK on. No, you just put IK. IK. Okay. So I like to do with 0 and 1. I'll just change this to 1. So the value to be going from is from 0, 0 indicating it's off and 1 indicating it's fully on. And now to edit this, we have to go into the graph editor. So select this bone, not yet though. So this is your graph editor and change it from fcurve to driver. So select the bone you want to add a constraint that has your constraint, which is this. And if we go into the bone constraint, what we have here is as you know, add bone constraints, we have the IK and the spline IK. And let's turn this off and add driver. So I've added driver, and let's work on this first. So what you have here is disable top IK hand, and that's this basically the vector pool. So press your N key and this menu pops up. So select this and let's start editing. And yep. So I'll change this to var, telling Blender is the variable. The variable var, depending on the name that is there. Yes, the name of the, if the name there is like boy, basically this is gonna be boy, the variable. So the only difference we'll be doing is change this from a transform channel to single property. And the property, Blender will ask you to input a property. The property you're using is this property. And to get the property you put here is going to the bone and down in this custom properties, right right click, sorry, and do copy data path, and very easily go here and paste. Paste. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So let's continue. So select this, and as we did before, add driver. So selecting the driver in the graph editor, change this to val, defining the variable, and change it from transform channel to single property. And in this property, change it to the name of your rig, which is hand rig. So we'll copy the data part of this and paste it here. So if we turn this on, it off, it goes back to 0. So let's switch it up a notch. I think 1. Okay. So okay. Let me do the opposite of this, negative. So it's just still the same step, but I want it to do it, move in a certain way. So that's why I'm changing it. Okay, it worked. So when it's 1, it's on, off, and when it's 0, it's on. So now we want to copy this driver property, copy driver, and go down here and paste driver. So if we select this, 1 is off, and now if you move this IK, nothing has happened. But if you select this and turn this to 0, it snaps to the driver. That's turning the IK off and on. So now you can select this and move it. What if you turn this off? Everything goes back. Okay, so let's do on the one for the spline IK. Same thing. We'll create a custom property, and you should also know you can also create an object in the scene and use the same way and drive it. But I'm going to use this for now. So change this to spline IK and it's to 1. Let's change this to 0. Okay. Same thing we did. Select this and add driver. Change this to var a single channel and copy data path and read and paste data. So selecting this means it's off, 0 means okay, sorry. Change this to var. So when you select this, 1 means it's off, so you can move your spline IK. So now the spline IK is in motion. And if you select this and turn it to 0 and turn this to 1, IK is in motion. I know it's kind of looking confusing. Wait, let me see if there's a time. Let me just add a little spice. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll just do something for you guys so you guys won't be confused, because I'm kind of confused now. So move this Y. So this is gonna be an IK switch. You know what? I'll be glad to give out my tutorial, but I think if you really understand, it's gonna work. So if this is 1, it's now a spline IK or G. So let's try and create an animation and see how it works for us. AV sync, location rotation, change this to 50 and insert all keyframes. So starting off with an IK, kind of so let's start up with an IK. Start all and make sure you're also inserting keyframes in this too, because this is what's gonna make sure this is one gonna make it switch, inserting the keyframe. And we grab this, move it here, set keyframe, set, and pull it off. So get, and let's say it drops his hand down, select all inside keyframes, set. So let's say we want to create a Katana Motion here. Select this, set keyframe in the first frame, this frame that is trying to move. Grab the spline IK. So grab the spline IK. So you just get the gist. When you want to create very snappy motions, you can do it with the spline IK. You play it frame by frame. You can also get to create very deformable stuff with this. So you may not see it, but it's there and it's going to make everything look more fluid. Let's add it here a bit. So insert keyframe. Make sure you insert keyframe back and front so you won't spoil what's happening. And let's add so it's gonna be like more cartooning and stuff. So one. So if there are some ways you can use script to make all these bones move with it, but I have no idea of that. If I do, I'll share it to you guys. And so this back to one. So yeah, that's it guys. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it has helped you in a way too. And that's it. So bye, and please subscribe and like my videos. I'm kind of starting up. I want to get much view and comments from you guys. Thanks.